What is the cost of lies? It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans, right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, Habbening Bros. It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another Habbening TV. Oh, man. You know what they say. There are like weeks where years happens and years where nothing happens. This has been a week chock full of news. Tonight, we are mainly going to be talking about the US and the demise of USAID, which is our second story. USAID, of course, the International Agency for International... the US Agency for International Development has basically been the dark heart of the NGocracy, the public-private partnership, if you were. Essentially, the sort of shadow international government that has been squirreling away American taxpayer funds and directing them to sort of glow-ups all around the world. Indeed, if there is a glow-up that has touched you or touched your children inappropriately, chances are that there was USAID money involved. They have funded everything from coups in Eastern Europe to anti-vax propaganda. They've even funded stuff like making sure that video games are crap. Their tentacular molestations stretch all over the globe, and now they're gone. They're shut down. Oh, what a shame. How am I going to get more gay and trans video games? How are we supposed to get more civil society organizations? How am I supposed to read from some weird outfit in Romania why is it absolutely a good thing that trannies read to your children? Without USAID, how is any of these things going to happen? Trump and the people around him obviously realized this quite early on. It seems like they've been playing their cards very close to their chest and have identified that USAID was in fact the heart of darkness that needed to be stabbed at, and it seems it has been successful. USAID has been shut down. More on that in a bit. Our first story, though, is the Trump tariffs. Yes, Trump has said, I'm tired of people taking advantage of the United States. We're going to fund lots of stuff with tariffs. It's going to be bigly, and maybe we'll get rid of the income tax and make America great again. And of course, all the people whose jobs rely upon this horrible sort of arrangement are like, no, don't you understand? Without the deep state, we are nothing. This is extremely dangerous to our bureaucracy. Now, Trump basically threatened to put a 25% tariff on both Canada and Mexico as of today. This caused a massive slide in various currencies, a bit of a crypto sell-off as well, particularly among the shitcoins. Damn you, Ripple. And it's been pretty crazy. As of the airing of this segment, Mexico has basically come to terms, and Trump will not be imposing tariffs on them. Canada, although, is in a bit more of a tricky position because Trudeau has prorogued Parliament, which means that they can't bring Parliament back to pass any of the legislation that would be required to fix the problems that Trump is demanding they fix in order to not incur these tariffs. These fixes basically involve sort of making the Canadians take care of their border, stop sort of fentanyl and illegal migrants coming over. Of course, this is completely opposite to the goals of the Volksstaat in the Canadian government. This whole thing, by the way, is all basically tied together. USAID is sort of the, as I said, the sort of tentacular glue that has been holding together the global woke state. And without it, I think we are going to see massive, massive knock-ons, which leads into our sort of second and a half story, that there were massive bank outages all across the UK over the last few days. Now, I cannot say for sure that these two events are related, but the timing is very, very curious. All of a sudden, USAID gets their funding cut, the woke state is suddenly without funds, and there's like banking outages all across the UK. I'm doing the emoji, bros. And then, of course, Ukraine is like, Zelensky comes out and he's like, oh, there's like $100 billion that, we just, we can't find, we can't keep track of. It's enough to make you just go, I wonder if these events are connected. Probably. I'm gonna speculate. But it would seem to the intelligent observer that these were likely to be interrelated. And our final story, of course, bro. It's often said that when a party gets widely trounced, the way that the US Democratic Party did, they go into the wilderness, they take a moment to reflect on the political formula that they were presenting to the electorate and wonder whether perhaps they were, sending the right message. What is it that caused the public to forsake them? Of course, the electorate is like a fickle lover, right? One day, the electorate's up in your arms, whispering sweet nothings in your ear, and then the next day, the electorate is jealous and spiteful and doesn't want to play with you anymore. The Democrats have just had another convention, and it looks like basically they are sliding into being the Democratic Socialists with all of the attended retardation that implies. More of the race communism, more of the gender ideology. They're not ready to give any of it up anytime soon, which of course is great, not only for America, but for the world more generally. It bodes well for the midterms in a couple of years. I highly doubt the Democrats are going to get their shit together by that point. They're probably still going to be doing the same messaging that lost them the last election. There's also a hilarious video of their conference and the people they elected, and strong black woman is speaking. All of the stuff that is basically now so 2019, everybody is sick of it, and we will be showing it all to you. Right, let's get on with the news, and first say hello to everybody in the chat. On Rumble, we have DJ Based, a Texas man, correspondent from the great state of Texas. Cthulhu loves you. Yiz the Eunuch. I will be on Discord and Dragons tonight, co-hosting with Yiz. Come along, it should be a lovely time. Who else have we got? Sadie Sapiente, of course. Livia Drusilla. Great to see you, Livia. Anybody else on Rumble? I think that's everybody. Oh, Teabag and Therapist, of course. Hello, sir. Excuse me. And Ardent Party, of course. Great to see you, Ardent. On YouTube, we have LLLL. I don't know how you would pronounce that. A lurker that has joined the chat. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for coming along. Victorian Time Traveler. Good to see you too, mate. Simon JJ. Lovely to see you, Simon. Hope you're well. Evil Author 1776. Great to see you, mate. Anybody else? Anybody else? I think that's everybody. And on Odyssey, we have MK. It's the only person on Odyssey. We got a lot of lurkers on Odyssey. And hello to all of the lurkers out there. If you're not in the chat live, if you're watching later, you're still important to us. You know, we know you're out there. I can see you on the metrics. You know, it's lovely to be watched. Today's meme. So you want to win, but you want your enemies to lose. Isn't that a bit hypocritical? One of my favorite soy jacks. Hypocrisy guy. Oh, we also have Captain Crisps in the chat. Good to see you, mate. No, you're still important, Crisps. Don't worry, I see you there. I see you there in the chat. And I believe we also have an entry from last week from Texas Man for $5 saying that I mispronounced aluminium. Of course, the Americans say aluminum. And the Americans, of course, are wrong in their pronunciation. Whose language do you think this is? Anyway, thank you very, very much, Texas Man. I really, really appreciate that. Right, let's get on with it. We got quite a lot of stuff to get through. So let's get into it. We start with the trade war. Oh, the trade war, mate. America's they're gonna have like a trade war. Well, what Trump really wants is not a trade war, right? He just wants to like flex his muscles and sort of like smack Canada and Mexico and a few other countries into line. News has basically broken as well that he sent a delegation down to the Panama Canal, and Panama has said that they will not be renewing their Belt and Road thing with China after basically saying, oh man, we don't have anything to do with them Chinese, man. Yeah, they totally do. They were signed up to the Belt and Road program, which is like about as Chinese as feng shui rice. So whatever, right? It's Chinese, right? Now, of course, Mexico quickly came to heel over the threats of the tariff, especially since, right, Trump's basic demand was you just got to secure your border, right? It's not like they're like, you've got to like give us every one of your firstborn children or anything like that. You just got to secure the border and stop fentanyl from coming across. And indeed, there have been a number of large fentanyl seizures in Mexico recently. It seems like the Mexican government is actually taking this shit seriously. So, the tariffs have been delayed for a month, and this is what Trump's going to do, by the way, I imagine, for his entire presidency. He's going to hold these threats of tariffs over different countries' heads. The UK has not been mentioned yet. Apparently, he's going to tariff the EU, but the UK, for the moment, is safe. And it makes me wonder what it is that Trump has demanded of the UK, especially since quite conveniently, at about exactly the same time that Keir Starmer's government started saying, maybe we should backtrack on this whole net zero thing. Maybe it's not a good idea to crash the entire economy into the ground. All of a sudden, a scandal has emerged around Keir Starmer. He had a voice coach during lockdown. He better resign. Yeah. No, don't resign over like Southport or like, going around the world sort of like trying to cancel the death penalty in all of these like countries and doing all of that stuff and defending all these like horrible people. Oh, no. He got a voice coach during the lockdown. This is the kind of thing that strikes me as an inside job. Anyway, back to Trump's trade war. The Mexican president says tariffs delayed for a month after deploying 10,000 troops to the border to halt fentanyl. The cartels will not be happy about this, bros. I imagine the Mexican border is going to get quite hot. Ay caramba, muy caliente, arriba. There's probably going to be a lot of like suffering actually and like gunfights. But look, I'm not on the Mexican border. I'm stuck here in woke North Korea, so I can make jokes about that. So JD Vance summed it all up in one simple tweet. What is with my mouth today? This is from Zero Hedge Course. For 3 days, a lot of the far left has actively rooted against America and argued we'd get nothing out of Trump's demands that Mexico secure its border. Well, how do y'all like them apples? Apples indeed. So this trade war thing has basically been going on. The tariffs were, I believe, due to drop today. or yesterday, the early February. And basically, sort of Trump is essentially doing this like shock and awe thing and just being like, right, we're going to do it, and waiting presumably for them to come to him and be like, oh yeah, actually it turns out, we can do something about the border. Hours later, it appears that Mexico's President Sheinbaum, pronouns oy vey, said that after having a good conversation with Trump, Mexico is pausing tariffs for a month for now, and Mexico will promptly comply with Trump's ask by reinforcing the northern border with 10,000 National Guard members to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the US, particularly fentanyl. So Mexico will immediately reinforce the northern border. The United States is committed to working to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons into Mexico. The teams will begin working today on two fronts, security and trade, and they are pausing tariffs for 1 month from now. So crisis averted. Now, there's also the question of Canada. Now, when this policy was first floated, Chuck Schumer and, all of these sort of like goblins, that have been running the US deep state, we're not very happy about this. But, because they sort of, they really, well, they speak to everyone like basically like they're a 90 IQ idiot, because that is essentially their base. This was Schumer's reply. Check it out.
Let's just take Super Bowl Sunday, okay? It's going to affect beer, okay? Most of it, Corona here, comes from Mexico. It's going to affect your guac, because what is guacamole made of? Avocados, both from Mexico.
What are stupid Americans like? So they like Super Bowl Sunday. Well, let's talk about Super Bowl Sunday. You don't give a fuck about the economic conditions of your country, do you, Ameribros? What you want is cheaper guacamole and Corona on Super Bowl Sunday. I am quite amazed. I did not realize that the only beer available in the United States was Corona. Ameribros, that must be a bit of a hardship for you. Amazing. There is literally no other beer in the United States apart from Corona. Just amazing, really. I weep for you, Ameribros. Now, the position with Canada, Texas man, Corona isn't made in Mexico, but I've seen it on the bottles, Texas man. It says Hensho Mexico, right? Like, at least the stuff we get here, right? Like, it makes me so tired, so sleepy. Need to have a siesta. Yeah, Ardent Party, Corona isn't ass beer. Yes, I agree. So the situation with Canada is a bit more complicated. Trump and Trudeau to speak Monday afternoon. So they will be speaking about now. I don't have the latest updates. If anyone is on Twitter and wants to tell me whether the Canadians have agreed to reverse course. US President Donald Trump has said that he will not impose tariffs on Mexico this week. He says yes. Wait, where's the bit about Canada? Come on. So Canada basically, Trudeau basically decided to double down. He's like, if you tariff us, we'll tariff you even more. And then Trump is like, if you tariff us even more, we're going to tariff you 1 billion times more. We're going to get so many tariffs, making Trudeau look a little bit green, actually, to be perfectly honest. I don't think they know what they're doing. And as I said, since their parliament has been prorogued, I'm not exactly sure what they could do. They would have to bring parliament back. And clearly Trudeau does not want to do that. He's happy to rule as just sort of like, a dictator in waiting. Who needs the legislature? It's just, it's so, process. Don't you know that the legislature gets in the way of the bureaucracy, bros? So Ottawa's counter-tariff plan would begin on Tuesday with 25% tariffs on 30 billions of goods originating in the US. This is going to tank the Canadian economy, right? And not only that, there's a lot more potentially problematic stuff going on here. So Canada has a lot of their crude refined in the US because they don't have the refining capacity. It's going to be a shit show. In 3 weeks after consulting with industry, the federal government plans to impose tariffs on another $125 billion in US goods. Trudeau said that additional non-tariff measures are being discussed by the federal and provincial governments, including some related to critical minerals, energy, and procurement. It is not clear what, if anything, Canada could promise to do on its borders to convince Trump to reverse course. I don't think that's true. They could just basically send like a bunch of troops to the border and start enforcing border security. Ottawa already laid out a $1.3 billion border plan in December that will add personnel, helicopters, drones, and drug-sniffing dogs and surveillance towers to the border. Well, when's that due to kick in? Have you considered expediting that, perhaps? Green Party leader Elizabeth May said in a statement Monday morning that Trudeau met with opposition government leaders to discuss his response to the tariff threat. The Prime Minister shared that it had become increasingly clear that there was no evidence or further actions on border security that would make any difference. Trump would only double down. It was not really about fentanyl. It was about Canada and about our sovereignty. It's interesting that Trudeau suddenly cares about my sovereignty. I didn't see that kind of language coming out of him during COVID, but you can't really expect any kind of consistency from these people. Now, can you? Premiers have laid out plans for their own countermeasures. Several provinces have pledged to stop buying US alcohol and to remove it from the shelves of provincial liquor stores. Yeah, I'm sure that's really gonna hurt the US economy. Yeah, he ripped up a $100 million deal with Starlink to bring internet to rural and northern communities because it's owned by Elon Musk. This is going to be such a shit show, honestly. Now, as you can see, the announcement of the tariffs caused the Canadian dollar to crater next to the USD, down by about, I'm not sure exactly how much that is, but you can see quite a steep fall off. It has since come back. It also want to watch Trudeau find out about Trump's reverse tariff measures. He looks a bit green, bros.
When did you first learn that President Trump intends to increase tariffs if Canada retaliates, and how has that changed your strategy?
I think Canadians understand that we need to respond to this. We need to respond in a way that is appropriate, that is measured but forceful, and that meets the moment. We're certainly not looking to escalate, but we will stand up for Canada, for Canadians, for Canadian jobs.
Yeah, I just want to look at this. Look at this. He's all smiling, and then he looks a bit green, bros. Goodness me. I think this is more from the same thing.
And now is also the time to choose Canada. There are many ways for you to do your part. It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products. It might mean opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing Florida orange juice altogether. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer. And now is also the time.
We got quite a strong response there from Ardent Party. One of our resident Canada bros, woof. He is not happy at Mr. Trudeau, which is surprising, really, because I was under the impression that all of the Canadians love Trudeau and his, boyish sort of Castro-esque look, his ready smile, his authoritarian tactics, This is the kind of stuff that was going around Canada. This is Charlie Angus, a Canadian MP. Arden, do you know where is this guy from Ottawa? He seems like he's from Ottawa. They're just saying the same stuff that everyone was saying in 2019. They haven't gotten the update, bros.
We are here this morning, my friends, as an unlikely group with leaders from across the political spectrum who've come together with cultural leaders, artists, academics, athletes, labor activists, and Indigenous militant activists. We represent the incredible regions of our beautiful country, and we are here for one reason. Our nation, our beloved Canada, is under threat. It is an economic threat, but it's also a threat to our values of decency and inclusion. It's a threat to our sovereignty and our very future as a nation. The threat comes, of course, from the President of the United States, a convicted felon and known predator. He's threatening massive tariffs to try and break us as a people. But the threat is also being driven by the hate algorithms of the oligarchs like Elon Musk.
Oh, the hate algorithms. Well, that's a new one for the glowy lexicon. I'm filing that away in my glowy language dictionary. Awesome. Oh, the hate algorithms. Are you watching me because of hate algorithms, bros? If you are, then salute to the hate algorithms.
And there is the threat from people in our own country who would sell out our birthright to appease the gangster class from Mar-a-Lago. That is not going to happen.
Ooh, the gangster class. Ooh, them's fighting words. Fortunately, of course, I have it on good authority that there is no such thing as corruption, nepotism, or elitism in Canadian politics at all. It is, in fact, the very model of a Western liberal democracy. All of its citizens are free and happy and literally abundant in rights. Isn't that right, Arden Party? Now, this is a oil worker basically talking about the sort of problems that Canada's going to have if they enter into a trade war with the US.
Ooh, buddy, you're not going to like how this goes. Fun fact, spent 4 years in the North Dakota oil fields. First year was as a flowback operator. The next 3 years was as a lease operator or a pumper, as it were. Yep, 4 years of oil field work in the great state of North Dakota. Oofta. So does the United States purchase a lot of Canadian oil exports? Survey says yes. We actually purchase 97% of the oil that you guys export. And that 97% of oil exports from Canada that we purchase in the United States, that accounts for 81% of your guys' entire oil production. Now, for some reason, you got it in your head that we desperately need to purchase this oil from you. Our oil and energy sector is going to die without Canadian exports. No, it's not. There's a very specific reason we purchase so much. It's because you guys sell that oil to us at a discount. Why would Canada sell so much oil at a discount? Well, simply put, it's because about 75% of your guys' total oil production is sour heavy crude. Oh, well, why doesn't Canada just refine their oil, eh? It's because you guys can't. Your refineries can't handle sour crude. I mean, you guys don't even have the money to maintain or build the infrastructure that it would take to transport this oil across your own country. And that's if you were able to refine it in the first place. So the reason why we get to purchase the lion's share of your oil production at a highly discounted rate is because it's raw fucking oil. And sour oil, packed full of H2S gas, which is the second most lethal gas on the planet, right next to what happens when you burn it. So, because it's so heavily discounted, we actually save money by purchasing your exported oil versus just refining our own oil coming out of the Bakken Shale, which accounts for 61% of our oil production, which is sour heavy crude as well. Now factor in that crude oil accounts for 16% of anything that Canada exports, and we buy 97% of that. Who's going to be hurting more economically if we just stop buying that raw oil from you and deal with refining our own shit? Crude oil by itself is a $124 billion a year industry in Canada, by the way. Just selling raw oil down the Keystone Pipeline to American refineries. $124 billion. Canada, you guys do not have the leverage that you think you do economically. And quite frankly, the United States is tired of playing nice and letting you bend us over the table and going in with no lube economically. So I'll say it again for the people in the back. If you guys just stopped ripping us off, you wouldn't be looking down the barrel of a 25% tariff. We're not bullying you. We're just making shit equitable on both sides. So get your shit together or figure out just how big of a boot in the ass you guys are going to get if you try to go into a trade war with the United States.
So, yeah, I mean, this is basically what's going down. We have this from Pierre Polyev pointing out he looks very happy. Presumably because I imagine this is going to be the absolute death of Trudeau, pointing out that there's nothing they can do because Parliament's been shut down.
You've called on the Prime Minister to bring back Parliament and pass your plan to counter Donald Trump's tariffs. Does that mean you're willing to work with other parties to come up with an agreed-upon plan before voting non-confidence and bringing down the government?
Well, of course, we can't do any of those things because Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have shut Parliament. Parliament is closed. You should direct your question to the Liberals. Why, in the middle of this crisis, have the Liberal Party powers put themselves ahead of Canadians? They're in the middle of a Liberal Party power struggle. Again, concerned about themselves, their own self-interest, rather than immediately recalling Parliament so that we can pass a Canada First plan like the one I've just laid out.
Yeah, so, I mean, Canada's basically being ruled by Trudeau in absentia at the moment. However, Trump says that he spoke to Trudeau. As I said, he's speaking to him again. Canada doesn't even allow US banks to open or do business there. What's all that about? Many such things, but it's also a drug war, and hundreds of thousands of people have died in the US from drugs pouring through the borders of Mexico and Canada. Just spoke to faggot Trudeau. We'll be speaking to him again at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m., I don't know, Washington time. It's probably about now. If someone could check Twitter and see if that's happened. There was also a big slide in crypto. As I said, about $2 billion was liquidated from the crypto market on the result of this news. And the euro also slid after a report that Trump was considering a 10% tariff on the EU. It sounds like he's doing more than considering it, bros. Listen to this.
Well, you're asking me a question because I'm sure you didn't hear. Am I going to impose tariffs on the European Union? Do you want the truthful answer or should I give you a political answer? Absolutely.
Ooh, Euro bros, not looking too good. Arden Party, nothing new regarding Trump or Trudeau yet. Right, thank you very much. And finally, this again leads into the next story about USAID. Trump has basically said that they are going to suspend all funding to South Africa over the horrible anti-white policies there. And it's quite funny because he doesn't mention whites specifically, but he does say, where is it? That's right. They've been treating certain classes of people very badly. Everybody knows what certain classes of people he's talking about. He's talking about the white farmers or, whites in South Africa generally. This is going to be really, really interesting. I am hoping that Trump will be a big force to sort of roll back, a lot of the sort of rampant anti-whiteism going on. Now, to our second story, the death of USAID. Civil society, obese, black lesbians, and DEI. Now, in case any of you viewers are not aware, civil society, right, is the glowy term for organizations that push propaganda, do what's called capacity building in, various countries that they want to overthrow, propaganda, civil society organizations. And of course, they overthrow governments if you get out of line. That's what they call them. So, USAID is kill, bros. It is kill. Here's basically Trump just saying, we shut it down. Yeah, it was full of very, very bad people. We shut it down. I mean, if anyone's got that that meme of the guy looking in the windows, window being like, ha ha ha, yes. That's literally how I feel about this.
USAID or what's going on there?
Well, it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Run by radical lunatics. Well, he's not wrong, right? Look, bros. USAID is officially kill. Their website is down. Their Twitter profile does not exist. Oh, bros. Oh, bro. I mean, it's amazing, right? Trump is considering merging USAID into the US State Department. Now, USAID has always been linked to the State Department, but it has been an independent agency, right? I just want everyone to realize that when governments say things like it's an independent agency, right? What they really mean is that government can no longer control it. These agencies are not independent. They have their own culture. They have their own goals, right? You see this everywhere, right? They're like, oh, we're an independent agency. No, you're not. You're full of glowies. You like take dark money from like various donors. You're not independent at all. What it basically means is that whatever government gets into power has no ability to check their horrible policies. So the Trump administration intends to merge USAID with the US Department of State. This will basically mean that it's massively downsized, and it will be directly overseen by the Secretary of State, who is going to be Marco Rubio, meaning that all of their funding is going to have to go through him to get approved. Now, as you can probably imagine, I heard a voice like millions of glowies crying out in horror and then were suddenly silenced. They're like, oh no, how are we supposed to send money for lesbian dance classes in Pakistan? Now, I think that once the sort of true scope and nature of what's been going on with organizations like USAID comes to light, it will be recognized as possibly one of the largest money laundering operations to ever exist on planet Earth. I cannot prove this, but many, many people have speculated that all of this money going to lesbian dance classes in Pakistan and stuff like that have nothing to do with any of these kinds of stuff. And these are just sort of like headlines in order to funnel money to political allies, many of which are probably like terrorist groups, criminals, all this kind of like stuff. This is essentially how the Glow State has been funding itself off the back of the American taxpayer. And I highly suspect, in fact, I would be willing to bet some money on this, that this is precisely how the EU works. This is precisely how the UK works. This is the dark heart of the NGocracy, as I call it, the NGO-ocracy, right? So, they're saying basically, some functions of USAID will continue, but, the playtime is over, basically, right? Playtime is over. You're not going to be able to, just funnel money to whoever you want. USAID absorbed into the State Department under Rubio after Doge Crusade. As you can imagine, all the glowies are very, very angry at Elon Musk. Basically, what seems to have been happening is that he's got a sort of crew of programmers and stuff. They've been going into places like the Office of Personnel Management, which is like the HR department for the entire US government, and grabbing all the files, right? And trying to figure out what's going on. Same thing with USAID. They tried to lock him out of the building, and they actually had to call the cops on them to let them in and stuff like that. I have a suspicion, again, I can't say this for certain, but my suspicion is that Musk is probably taking all of this data and feeding it into an AI, training an AI with it so that they can figure out where all of this money is going to. Because, this at this point is such an incredible sort of Swiss cheese of money laundering that it would take years and years for people to figure it out, whereas an AI would have a much better job at handling such a huge amount of data. So yes, over the last several days, the Trump administration's move to strip USAID of its independence and roll it into the State Department has been well telegraphed with leaks and reports. Marco Rubio will ensure grant scrutiny. No. And people, of course, are pointing out that, look, USAID has funded so much stuff. They gave millions to bat coronavirus research in 2019 and then attempted to cover it up. Pretty much every single bad thing that has happened, you can trace back to USAID. And my suspicion, again, is that when you talk about people like Gates and Soros, the Open Society Foundation, what they have been doing is this well-known model where you lobby the government and put in a little bit of money, but you get the government itself to do the heavy lifting. So Soros might put in 10 million, but the government puts in 100, 200 million, right? So the money that Soros and all of his little glowies give basically direct the organs of the government, because the government has so much more money than even a person like Soros. Gates was well aware of this. I think there's a quote of him basically saying, you spend $10 in lobbying, you get $100 back in profits. That's how this scam works. Musk told more than about 700,000 listeners who tuned in that the President Trump agreed that we should shut USAID down. As we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not just an apple with a worm in it, but we actually have just a ball of worms. If you have an apple with a worm in it, you can take the worm out. If you have a whole ball of worms, it's hopeless. USAID is a ball of worms. There is no apple, and when there is no apple, you just need to get rid of the whole thing. That's why it's got to go. It is beyond repair. And he then wrote, USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die. I'm here for it. I am here for it. My God. Did you know that USAID, using your tax dollars, funded bioweapon research, including COVID-19, that killed millions of people? Oh my God, no. Yeah, they totally did. They totally did that. They've like placed all the people on leave. They basically messaged them all, say, don't come in on Monday. They originally refused to turn over classified material in restricted areas to Musk's government inspection teams. However, they did gain access on Saturday to the aid agency's classified information, which includes intelligence report, the former official said. And because Trump already ordered a freeze on foreign aid, they don't have much to do. So yes, basically, USAID is a front for the CIA, and together with NGOs like the Open Society Foundation, they have been using the US tax dollars and government resources as their personal piggy bank, as I detailed earlier. It has been infuriating to watch. Hopefully the whole truth will come out now. Yeah, indeed. Musk's involvement with Doge suggests that a rapid counteroffensive against the deep state is underway. What likely happened with USAID is a precision-guided strike aimed at severing the deep state's key funding source. Always follow the money, and neutralizing the deep state's ability to launder taxpayer funds is a great start. I'm here for it. It's going to be awesome. And completely coincidentally, at the same time that this happened, Zelensky suddenly discovered that he's missing $100 million. What a coincidence, bros. Amazing coincidence.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177 або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо. Бо ми говоримо про конкретні речі, бо ми отримали це не грошима, а зброєю. Ми зброю отримали на 70 з чимось мільярдів. Є навчання, тренування.
Look, who cares what Zelensky said? I mean, look at the reporters being like, oh, imagine believing a word this motherfucker says. Like, President Zelensky. Look, if it was me talking, I'd be like, I'm sorry, Vladimir, I don't believe a fucking word you say, mate. Who was it who said Sapiente, how does one lose $100 billion? Well, it's very complicated, CDs. Who can say, the world financial system is very, very complicated. All the contractors, I mean, it's probably too complex to ever know. Have you considered giving us another $100 billion? Fucking hell. Oh, it's insane. Almost certainly kickbacks and, and just to give you an idea of the kind of stuff that USAID has been funding, right? Like when I say they have their tentacular molestations everywhere, I really mean everywhere, right? They were funding bread tubers in the UK. This is Philosophy Tube in particular, to undermine critics of the British government's coronavirus policies by astroturfing a prominent founder of the bread tube clique of anti-fascist YouTube influencers. So they've just been funding. This is what they do. The project aims to conduct psychological profiling on British citizens dissenting against policies such as mandatory vaccination and lockdowns, then leverage that data to establish a YouTube channel that portrays these critics as dangerous super spreaders of disinformation. I hope they all burn. You bastards. But yeah, look, but everyone who was like watching this closely knew that there were like glowy sources of funding here. It was just hard to link it all the way back to USAID. Valent's research on British citizens who reject official government policy on COVID-19, quote, will be used to devise a campaign that utilizes YouTuber Abigail Thorne's existing platform to achieve a measurable cognitive shift in the target audience. Ugh, I hate this kind of language. Designed to curb the influence of pseudoscience material online, with specific emphasis on coronavirus-related anti-vaxxing sentiment. The operation is run by the UK's Royal Institution and dubbed Challenging Pseudoscience Bros. God damn it. God damn it, man. Wait. Sati Sapiente. What's this? You have sent me. Can't read the subtitles on the phone. Maybe read along for the busy and poor. Yes, I am. Well, I can't read along for the subtitles of the video, but you get the idea. Its top patron, of course, of Valent is Charles, the Prince of Wales, next in line to the British throne, who recently hit out at supposed conspiracy theories surrounding COVID-19 vaccines. The organisation received a substantial cash injection in 2020 from the UK government's Culture Recovery Fund. Files obtained by the Grey Zone indicate that the Royal Institution has enlisted the services of Valent Projects, a social change communication firm founded by a public relations operative previously involved in the UK Foreign Office's campaign for violent regime change in Syria, which has been sponsored by USAID. And they're even responsible for the terrible state of video games. USAID promotes gender equality and improved health through Half the Sky movement mobile games. They're literally everywhere. All of the cancer that has been hitting for the last 10 years, USAID has a hand in. And this is the kind of stuff they do. Haven't seen this one before, but during COVID I watched a lot of these. Enjoy, bros.
Disinformation has invaded online conversations on social media platforms, posing challenges to healthy information environments and threats to democracy. It bolsters authoritarians, weakens democratic voices and participation, exploits and exacerbates existing social cleavages, and silences opposition. Countering disinformation and promoting information integrity are necessary priorities for ensuring democracy can thrive. The CEP's Countering Disinformation Guide is a resource including 9 thematic sections and a comprehensive database of interventions, highlighting various approaches for advancing information integrity and strengthening societal resilience to disinformation and other harmful online campaigns. The International Foundation for Electoral Systems, International Republican Institute, and National Democratic Institute developed this guide with support from USAID through the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening. Here are 9 key takeaways from the guide. Addressing disinformation requires a whole-of-society approach.
Just going to translate for you here, by the way. A whole-of-society approach means that they literally have to change the entirety of society. They need censorship everywhere.
We need to create a sense of urgency to drive collective action for addressing disinformation. Institutions and platforms have the resources to address disinformation, but lack credibility, whereas civil society has the credibility, but is chronically under-resourced. Countering disinformation requires a mixed methods approach, including fact-checking, monitoring, and other interventions.
Other interventions? Ooh, I wonder what those other interventions could be. Do you mean censorship and ruining people's lives? Other interventions, bros.
Focusing on major events like election outcomes alone will not achieve a healthy information environment.
A healthy information environment. Don't you want to live in a healthy information environment? Yeah, please define. I mean, look, none of these videos define any of their fundamental terms, basically. This is one of the reasons why they annoy the shit out of me.
Developing norms and standards, legal and regulatory frameworks, and better social media content moderation is necessary for a healthy information ecosystem. It is important to establish frameworks to discourage political parties from engaging in disinformation.
Oh, what a bloody giveaway! It is important to establish frameworks to discourage political parties from saying things that we don't like. It's like, bloody hell, man.
Not sure where to start? Click here to explore the Interventions database of organizations, projects, and donors working to counter disinformation around the world.
Oh, get fucked. Fuck off and keep fucking off. Oh, God, I hate you people so much. But all is not lost, bros. All is not lost. The Democrats have gathered outside the USAID offices to have a bit of a chin wag and do, as far as I can tell, absolutely fucking nothing.
As you probably saw, Elon Musk and his crew put a gag order on AID employees. They disconnected them from email, which is putting lives at risk around the world. So we are here to enter the building, and so we can hear firsthand from whoever is here at AID, or at least witness firsthand what is happening with this Elon Musk attempted takeover, which will not stand. We will prevail. Let's go.
Now, the thing is, as far as I can tell, they can't actually get inside the building. So they just, let's go. Let's go and do what? You're locked out. Now, this, of course, all comes on the back of Musk and co. getting aides to the, getting access to the Treasury Department so they can find out where all the money is going, if I am correct. And they are basically training an AI off all of this data. It's going to be incredibly powerful. Like, it is, you know, such an AI would be incredibly powerful. They'd just be able to, like, ask it, where's all this money going? Where did it come from? It'll, like, pop it up. It's going to be epic. It looks like, basically, they have successfully mounted a coup. A proper coup. And, you know, and for those of you who are like, hey, we don't do coups anymore, this is a Western liberal democracy, I would say shut up and read Machiavelli. Hey, but Machiavelli is very old. No, it's not. Universal principles never go out of style. The sensitive systems that Musk got access, run by the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, control the flow of more than $6 trillion annually. Mate, that is insane, right? With that much money, right? No wonder there is so much waste, right? Like, with that kind of money, no one's got any idea where it's going. And the deep state have been spending all of their time essentially defrauding the US government. Now, in a related story that has, you know, is it got anything? It was actually Sede Sapiente that pointed this out to me. I think it is entirely possible that the bank outages that we have been seeing in the UK are related to the shutting down of USAID and the crimping of these money flows. Why would you say that? Well, they do say that London is where all the banking is, right? I suspect most of the Ukraine money was going through London. Now, how much money were they siphoning off? How much of this, like, black grant money, this black money generally, was being siphoned off in London? And how much of this money was being used to pay off loans or, you know, support, like, structured financial products? There's no way of knowing. Barclays Bank, the largest bank in the UK, was basically out for, like, 2 days. This started on Friday. They were down the entire weekend, and everyone was like going crazy, and Barclays was like, oh yeah, no, we haven't been hacked. Everyone's like, well, what's wrong? Oh, it's just an IT problem, bros. Now, I suspect what happened was that this reduction in US monetary flows triggered a liquidity crisis at Barclays, but they couldn't say that because it would sound a little bit bad if they came out and said, oh yeah, we were relying on all of those, like, you know, black money in order to keep our operations afloat. Apparently, Barclays is mostly back up now. A lot of people were, like, really, really sore over this, especially since Barclays was just saying, oh, you know, have you considered going to a food bank because you can't get your money? People were not happy about that. Lloyd's went down today for a while. and so did Halifax. Their banking apps went down. And again, this makes me think that what was really happening is that these banks were undergoing a liquidity crisis, and they were doing this in order to stop money flowing out so that they could, repay their creditors and keep their loans and structured finance products liquid. I mean, this is one of the things about this kind of stuff. You're never going to know exactly. It's not like Barclays or Lloyds or Halifax are ever going to come out and say this, obviously. It's just, a hell of a coincidence. The timing is very, very suspicious. Anyway, our final story of the night. Democratic parties, bro. The Democratic Party. They haven't learned a fucking thing. Check this shit out.
In this round, so I'm going to... I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
My racism, my misogyny. What really I find really interesting is that none of them ever sort of say, perhaps this thing that we are trying to reform is a fundamental part of human nature, and perhaps we should stop trying to reform fundamental parts of human nature. Nah. So this is the new vice chair of the DNC, I think, David Hogg. I'm not really aware of this guy. Sades was saying that she's aware. Apparently he's a Sandy Hook survivor or something, and he looks about 12 years old. He has all of the right takes: abolish ICE, defund the police, designate the National Rifle Association as a terrorist organization. Unlike COVID, there's no vaccine for climate change, bros. Once we start feeling the impacts, we can just implement and survive. There is only one solution: prevention. Sede Sapiento, not Sandy Hook. Wait, teabagging. Is there a conspiracy theory that he's actually Adam Lanza? Ooh, spicy. If the election is a matchup between Taylor Swift and Ted Nugent, I think it's safe to say I've seen enough. Biden wins the 2024 election. You're wrong. You're wrong. Get in the crystal. This is just... Oh my God. This is not quite as entertaining as the Democratic Socialists of America conference. I've got the clip, by the way, just as a bit of a reminder. But it is pretty close. Check this shit out.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on.
It's basically the Shaniqua party at this moment. Oh, it's so crazy. This chick basically got 0 votes, by the way. Just there's more. There's a whole parade of Shaniquas trying to get voted. Check this shit out.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me.
There's a black woman speaking. Silence, please. Black woman speaking. 2020 called. They want its talking points back.
Yes, I am speaking.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong black women standing before you. 3 black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Te quiero mucho, Papa. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
Look at this room, y'all. Truly take it in. This is the Democratic Party. We are our strongest when we stand together.
We are in a time in this country when our democracy and our rights are under attack. We're at a time where black and brown people, women, and other minorities are being blamed for everything that's wrong with this country.
So let's fight together for a stronger and more inclusive Democratic Party. Good afternoon, DNC!
Let me say something. Over the last several days, we've seen what happens when we have the wrong people in powerful places.
And so today, I ask for your support in electing me as your DNC vice chair, because in a time of crisis, leadership matters.
My people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being the last one hired and the first one fired.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of listening to you, Shaniqua. Shut the fuck up. I am sick and tired of you talking about how you're sick and tired.
We are sick and tired of the...
And I've spent the last 15 years fighting for the American people, all 340 million of them.
Work to do to organize, show up, and win. And that is why I'm asking the people who have stood with me in this ride, because you know the work that I do to protect the vote.
We got a super chat from Yiz for $3, more like the Bio-Leninism party. Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, and speaking of which, I forgot to shill. If you would like to support a proud and independent black woman, such as myself, running for the, the head of woke North Korea, please send monies via Entropy. Earth monies are greatly appreciated.
We need Earth monies to appear as normal Earth pigs. Mini Moose, how much have we earned?
I really got to remember to get my shilling in. I'm always forgetting to do the shilling, bros. What's I'm just always forgetting. I would very, very much appreciate your donations. Thanks very much, guys. Right, we keep going on. It's literally the Bio-Leninism Shaniqua party. I know this is a bit cringe, bros, but look, this is actually very, very white pilling, because it suggests that the Democratic Party is not going to get its shit together for 2026, which means that Trump may in fact have the sort of the full thing for like the full 4 years or even longer, which would be freaking awesome. Simon JJ. Let me see. I'll give you a dancing girl and a love heart for $15. Thank you so much. Great show, Newsfist. Oh, Simon, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. Let's get on. Let's see what else we got.
Let's not forget that black and especially black women have always been the backbone of our party. We show up for our communities, our party in every election. Yet time and time again, we are overlooked when it comes to the top leadership positions in our party. And now, all 4 of the most powerful positions of the party at the DNC are poised to belong to people of non-color.
And, wait, there's more. So, turns out, right, they had like gender quotas for like the people who were like allowed to get elected, and they had a bit of a problem because the non-binary dude didn't get elected, so they had to like pause and redo the election because there was no non-binaries, bro. This is literally Democratic Socialists of America. Kind of like tear shit. Look at this.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity.
Man, they're just tying themselves up in knot. They are literally the Gordian knot. Oh, we got Entropy as well. Let me see. What have we got? Dancing Girl and 2 more weeks. from Stumbling for $10 US. Bloop, take your filthy earth monies. Thank you very much, Stumbling. I will take those filthy earth monies and I will spend them on filthy earth beer. Thank you very much, mate. So yeah, they're just trapped in a web of their own making. Unfortunately, despite their best efforts, bros, you're gonna be like, it's tragic to hear this. The non-binary candidate received 0 votes, bros. Oh no!
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. I got into this work because at the age of 18, unfortunately, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today, I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history.
He was the victim of a hate crime? Oh yeah, what? Someone said an off-color joke in his presence or something. Fucking hell.
I'm proud to be the only Afro-Latino in this race. I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud, non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
The final tally of votes, Troy Blackwell, 0.
Oh no, bros! They didn't vote for the non-binary Afro-Latinx. I can't believe it. And I just want to play this in case you've never seen this before. Before COVID, when those of us in the political sphere were laughing at the Democratic Socialists of America, they had a conference. Oh, it was delightful. This was the best thing to come out of it.
If we want to defeat capitalism, we are going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism. Thank you so much.
Quick point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone. And it turns out, after all that, bros, who won it? The white man won it. Oh my God, the white supremacy is real, even in the Democratic Party, bros. This is his victory speech.
Let me just start by saying we have one team. One team.
That's right.
The Democratic Party. We have one fight. We have one fight. The fight's not in here. The fight's out there, right? The fight's not in here. The fight is for our values. The fight is for working people. The fight right now is against Donald Trump and the billionaires who bought this country. That's the fight not in here. I want to thank all of you. Thank you to the DNC members who have put their faith in my vision for our party. I am honored and humbled for every one of you who supported me. Look, it's time for our party to do 3 things. First is to unite. We have to rebuild our coalition. We have to ignore the noise. We have to focus with intensity on the goal ahead, which is winning elections to improve people's lives. Right. Second, we need to go on offense. Trump's first weeks have shown us that what happens when amateur hour meets demolition derby, right? And at the same time, he's invited all these billionaires into the Oval Office to mine, extract, and profit off of our government. This is our time. Right now, it's the people's government. It's not another resource for ultra elites to exploit. Lastly, and the third, is we're going to take tonight to enjoy the moment, and we're going to build new alliances, but then we're going to get to work. We're going to get to work. We're going to fight. We're going to go out there and take this fight to Donald Trump and the Republicans, and we're going to fight for working people again in this party. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we weren't gay and trans and black enough, but we're going to fix that with the white dude at the head. Oh, God, what's this? More Shaniquas.
In October of 2024,
A large part, about 1/3 of Trump's advertising budget, went specifically to this one ad. It was about gender-changing surgeries for a small number of transgender, incarcerated, undocumented immigrants. These particular ads ended with the line, "Kamala is for they, them, President Trump is for you." How should Democrats respond to this attack?
Our party has to live its values. Everyone has dignity. Our party believes that no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, no matter who you love or who you are, you have dignity, and we're going to fight for you. And that's what we're going to do as a Democratic.
Yeah, unless you're white, right? You know, in which case, fuck you. All of a sudden, they're going to be like, "Oh, white people, we're sorry, bros. I mean, I know we completely like locked you out of society and, you know, like tried to like kill you all, but you know, like, it's fine." And this is them cheering. Oh God, this is just so retarded.
246.
The literal definition of low energy. As is this, they had a little dance afterwards. Honestly, this is so Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I can just imagine Hunter S. Thompson, like, in the back of the room with a head full of acid, just like, being like, oh my God, this is literally the nadir of human activity. And of course, as if that weren't enough, the, what do you fucking call them? The artistic class are still banging on with last year's message.
I just want to say tonight that trans people are not invisible. Trans people deserve love. The queer community deserves to be lifted up. Music is love. Thank you.
Keep on going, bros. Keep on going. I'm sure everything's going to work out fine. Right, I know that was a bit cringe, but it's time for some cringe. I'm sorry, but I did have to sort of like, you know, detail what was happening with the Democratic Party. It's important, bros. It's important. Let me see. What else have we got here? The trannies are suffering a bit of a blow, bros. They can't even bathroom anymore.
I was just in the women's room at a cheesecake factory, and when I walked in, there was this little girl, like 3 years old, tops. She was standing there alone, I assumed waiting for her parent, who was in the stall. And all the stalls were full, so like I couldn't go in, I just had to wait. And it was me and this little girl and no one else. And she kind of looked at me like, and, you know, I just like nodded my head and didn't look at her. I was like, you know, it's kind of awkward. And it occurred to me that when the parent, who I don't know, leaves the stall, exits their stall and sees me, a trans person, and their little 3-year-old daughter, that they might make an assumption based on untrue things that they've heard, an assumption that could be very dangerous for me, unsafe for me. So instead of waiting for that to potentially happen, I left the bathroom and decided I didn't need to pee that bad. Trans people go through this thought process any time they're in a bathroom, and it's not okay. And it's important to talk about.
And it's not okay. Yeah, but it's happening. Get used to it. Bros. Poor trannies. Look at this. This is truly the end of an era.
'Cause I'm getting pretty fucking tired.
a trans flag in the classroom. Oh my God, this is freaking crazy. So, in case you're not aware, there is a bit of a fight going on in the UK at the moment. It seems that even the Labour Party has realised that if they do the whole like net zero thing, they are going to like literally crash the economy into the ground, and they are facing the imminent prospect that Trump is going to turn the US economy around, and everyone's going to be like, wait, well, why can't we do that, right? So a bunch of stuff. This is the Scottish head of GB Energy, which is basically one of Miliband's net zero things. They just gave him like $6 billion. You know, just do your thing. They're gonna reduce energy prices when, well, you know, maybe 20 years.
Is that by having more homegrown clean energy here, we're going to protect from global events suddenly creating a panic where people have to pay higher bills, and we're protecting people from that. And ultimately, yes, it will help bring energy prices down.
When?
Well, it's a matter for government and policy to decide.
But as the boss of this, and as someone who is driving forward the ambition of the government, you surely have an idea in your head of when that central pledge to the people of reducing their bills by £300 will come into action.
It is not in the remit of Great British Energy to work out exactly how that energy costing gets through to the consumer. That's
what consumers were pledged, though, wasn't it?
Well, no, look, consumers were pledged that Great British Energy is going to help bring those energy prices down, and we will.
Still don't know when, though.
No, I'm giving you an answer. More renewable energy is bringing people's energy bills down. It's a great thing for British people. It's creating jobs for British people, and that is the best way of doing it.
They honestly look like they just found this dude like asleep in a car park or something. Stuck him in a suit, hosed him down. Is like, you're the spokesman for like, you know, Scottish like net zero now.
Can you see why people think this is a bit vague?
Well, look, at the end of the day, I know that you're asking me for a date as to when I can bring that. Great British Energy has only just been brought into creation.
Can we be clear as to how many jobs the northeast of Scotland will benefit from?
Great British Energy itself is going to create over the next 5 years 200 or 300 jobs in Aberdeen. That will be the size of our team. But look, that is...
They were promised 1,000.
Look, and I said in the very long term, as we become a major energy champion, it may be many more than that.
What's the very long term?
Well, look, we grow these companies. Energy companies grow over 10, 20 years, and we're going to be around in 20 years as a British energy champion.
So it could take 20 years to get 1,000 jobs.
Look, but the issue that you're completely missing here is the thousands of jobs that are being created in the supply chain.
That was a terrible performance. Get that man a media coach. It's so obvious he's got no fucking idea what he's doing. Oh my God, I hope we start seeing more of these. Honestly, it's going to be interesting. Tucker Carlson did a great interview with Piers Morgan, which, I mean, Piers Morgan is basically a walking version of the Gell-Man effect, where something he believed very, very fervently has turned out to be not true, but he doesn't ever stop to consider whether any of the other things that he believes very fervently are exactly untrue. This is him apologizing for being taken in by the corona hoax bros.
Now, where I was completely wrong was, you mentioned COVID. And it was interesting. It really changed my thinking about these things. In COVID, I got very, I think, overly emotionally engaged because I knew people who were dying of COVID, and it was awful. And in Britain, we handled it very badly. But I got led down a line which I wished I hadn't been led down. I'll give an example. When the scientists said, if you have the vaccine, you can't transmit the virus, I believed them. And I became wrongly censorious, really badly censorious. I was saying to people, if you don't have it now, knowing that if you have it, you can't transmit the virus, you're going to go and kill old people, you're going to kill people. It's not about you, it's about the people you may infect and kill. And it turned out to be completely wrong. They later said, months and months later, actually, there's no difference whether you have the vaccine or not in terms of transmitting the virus. And at that point, I realized I'd been misled completely.
Had you already gotten the vaccine?
Yeah.
Did you know that it made you impotent when you got it? I'd heard that. Is that not?
That's not true.
Oh, it's not true.
I can confirm that's not true.
Oh.
But here's my point. Though.
Such a dick. I can't control myself.
No, but that's why I like you. It's why we get on so well. But the interesting point about both of them was that we were both kind of traduced by institutions into taking a position about something which turned out to be wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And it really has made me, I just think coming out of the pandemic in particular, I've just now, next time round, with any of these things,
yes,
I'm going to be a lot more skeptical, as a journalist should be.
Yes.
So I'm pretty ashamed of not being that to start with.
Yeah, but you know, if you don't wind up ashamed in midlife about things that you've done, then you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
We should all be ashamed of our shortcomings, and really the question is not who was wrong. The question is who admits it.
Yep. Well said, Tucker. I haven't watched the whole thing. It's pretty brutal, mate. At one point, like, Tucker starts saying to Piers Morgan, like, how can you say you won the Second World War? You have no freedoms. You can't defend yourself. You're, like, basically owned by the banks. And Piers is like, well, you know, at least we're not speaking German. Fucking hell. Oh, this is another Piers Morgan clip of him getting BTFO'd by a good old boy. And Mero Bros, this one goes out for you.
80 people a day die in America from gunshots.
And 78 of those 80 are let out of their cages by corrupt judges and prosecutors who know that recidivism is out of control, know that they'll commit the crimes again, and they let them walk through plea bargaining, early release, and programs.
They still
Kiss
can't.
my ass.
Yeah.
Where you have the most armed citizens in America, you have the lowest violent crime rate. Where you have the worst gun control, you have the highest crime rate. Why do you guys resist that statistic?
Well, there's a you guys.
It's you guys.
No.
Well, unless you're playing the devil's advocate.
I can play any advocate I like.
You're playing the idiot's advocate here.
That's not the idiot's
More
advocate.
guns equals less crime.
Oh, Ted Nugent. Nice. Very nice. Wow, what's this? Oh, no, I won't play that. That's quite long. Oh, yes. Idris Elba, the English actor, has come out and said that the solution to knife crime is to ban kitchen knives. I shit you not, we are literally sliding down the whirlpool, right? Like, the amount of bullshit that's going on in this country because we just can't admit that certain groups of people do certain things at lower or higher rates is just insane. Listen to this bullshit.
The truth is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation. Okay. So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds reduced. You know, you can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is, all knives, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of ninja swords to be sold. So while, you know, you've got your granddad's sword on there and you want that, that's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword. So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that. And I think it's a small contribution to society if you say, all right, I'm going to back that. I'll get a license for my granddad's sword, because it is leaving, you know, these kids vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, I'm sure all of the criminals are going to absolutely pay attention to the law now, even though they weren't before. Fucking, oh my God, it's so fucking retarded. What the fuck is this? Oh yeah. Kash Patel had his confirmation hearings, and this is a very, very good clip. This is quite based. I've started adding in base clips, bros, to give you a bit of relief from the cringe. Enjoy.
Folks on the other side can't actually believe, they can't come to grips that they're in this position right now. That they're in the minority and that President Trump is back in office. Because what they did was, after he was out of office, they tried to destroy him. They tried to financially ruin him and his family. They tried to intimidate him. They tried to throw him in jail for the rest of his life. They tried to demonize half the country Their opening and closing argument for the last 4 years has been that President Trump and Republicans are a threat to democracy. But the American people sat in a jury box and they watched. And they weighed the evidence and they heard all the facts and they rendered their own verdict. And their verdict was for reform. They don't believe that the people who've been doing this in these positions have done a particularly good job before. They think the deck is stacked against them, and they saw how our justice system was turned against political opponents in a Soviet-style justice system, which moniker was, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. And by the way, I don't think they can believe you're sitting where you're sitting at right now. But guess what? You are. And you're going to get confirmed.
That's right.
And you're going to lead this agency back to what it always should have been, which is to protect the American people, to fight crime, to put the bad guys in jail, not to execute a political agenda like some banana republic form of justice, where you point to the person on the other side that you want taken out, and you go do that person's bidding. This country was founded on the idea that people could say what they wanted, they could believe what they want, and that the government wouldn't come after them. The government's job is not to tell you what you should think, or what you can say, or what you can do, or what you believe. And this Justice Department, under Christopher Wray, and under Joe Biden, and Merrick Garland, has done just that. And that's why the trust has plummeted. So you got a big job. You got a big, big job. But I have all the faith in the world in you that you're going to restore that trust because you believe in the rule of law. You have an incredible personal story. You're going to get confirmed. Folks on the...
Man, I'm so here for it. Amero Bros, I am so jealous of you all right now. Like, seriously. What's this?
If inflation isn't theft, then why can't people counterfeit money? If
they can just print money, why do we pay taxes?
Wow.
If inflation is not theft and we can just print money and we don't have enough money, we can just print more money and give everyone that doesn't have enough money. Why don't we just do that instead of paying taxes? Inflation is legal counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is criminal inflation. So central banking is a coordinated currency counterfeiting cartel that runs the world. It's a Band-Aid. You know what Milton Friedman said about inflation is that it's just like alcoholism. The good effects come early, right? You print the money, you have the drink, you feel good. The hangover comes later. The same is true of inflation. Every time the crisis comes, you have to print exponentially more money because there are exponentially more liabilities in the system from the last round of printing. And so this is why it's unsustainable, and this is why it always culminates in hyperinflation. Because the central bank has not only the precedent, but also the incentive to continue printing the money until the currency hyperinflates into worthlessness.
Well said. Well said indeed. Right, we got some funny videos for you now, bros.
Sir, do you think that men cannot have babies?
I can see why they call you Pocahontas, because you're really poking me. Mr. Kennedy, do you support what is on these onesies? Look at these onesies. Available for $26.99, which is actually a pretty good deal. I can't say that I do, though. I think you would look pretty good in that, Bernie, because you're a little baby.
My great-grandfather had a saying about people like you. He used to say,
Hey,
Mr. Kennedy, I heard you say that vaccines can cause autism.
The science is not clear on that, but I can confirm whatever vaccines you took have caused full-blown mental retardation.
That is racist!
Why don't you go back in your wigwam and beat the crap out of your husband? You know what? Forget a dream catcher. We need a bullshit catcher to filter out all the crap she's throwing at me right now. Mr. Kennedy, do you support what is written on this thong? Available at thonglife.com for $20.99. Actually, a pretty good deal. I'm wearing two of them, actually.
That is triggering.
You look like the type of guy who goes down on his wife while wearing a COVID mask.
That is not true. I grab her and look how I grab her boobs. 2 hands, nice and gentle. Of course, I sanitize them.
Booster candidate, I have gotten all 47 booster shots. Sure, ow, my neck is paralyzed, but that's unrelated. Excuse me, I also poop my pants a few times a day. I don't think that's related to you. I'm anti-mask, but I really would love to put a mask on right now.
Are you willing to say, right here, under oath, that Lizzo is not a skinny, beautiful woman?
Lizzo is definitely full of beauty. We'll leave it at that. Mr. Kennedy, do you support what is written in tattoos on Puff Daddy's arm? I believe he goes by P. Diddy. Sorry, P. Diddy.
And what about this woman who was not allowed into a lift because of her weight?
I think we should have a new rideshare app for morbidly obese people, and we can call it Forklift.
That is transphobic and racist.
You're out of order. Out of order.
Oh, I'm very triggered. Hey, that's very mean. Do you believe that vaccines cause autism?
Somebody give me a diaper.
No, this needs to stop.
Whoever said AI didn't do anything good. I think we got another one. Oh yeah, this is great. I'm totally for this. This is by far my favorite executive order from President Trump.
Today, I am signing an executive order making it legal to call your friends fags and retards if they are doing something faggy or retarded. Fags and retards, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to start calling our friends this again. And we will. We're going to call them fags and retards again.
I love how fag and retard have come back into the lexicon. I'm here for it. Now, this is Error 404 GBR, highly worth the follow. He's doing a bunch of these weird sort of AI puppet things about the Labour Party. They're pretty good. Check this out.
This is the extraordinary story of the boy with no soul whose father was a tool maker. He was born in a factory which was owned by his father. His mother, who was a nurse, wanted something more for him, something bigger. As he grew older, he dreamt of becoming a lawyer and helping the people from faraway places, but even this was not enough. He wanted something even bigger. He wanted to help more of the faraway people. He wanted power to be supreme leader. He needed to take complete control of the country, because the faraway people needed new homes, but the faraway people didn't like him, and his own people didn't like him. Nobody liked him, and he was very sad. All he ever wanted was to have a friend and to be liked. So he quit and become a children's TV presenter like his uncle Jimmy. This is the
We got another super chat from Texas Man. Still no N-word. I'm afraid not, mate. Maybe in 2 more weeks, bro. Thank you very much. Let's see what else have we got. Yeah, this is actually, Texas Man, we do have some We Was Kangs for you. I hope this will satiate your N-word lust.
Grays are a fallen race as well. The grays, the stuff that be coming off of them that'll make you sick, that's the essence from them being a fallen race. That's the essence from them being like a fallen race. It's really not even bacteria or disease. It's something else. I'm just saying disease and bacteria to give y'all an idea. You feel me? But it really something else. It's like the essence from them being this fallen low vibrational race. It literally bleeds off of them now. That's why they all decrepit and they the way they is, and they, you get what I'm saying? They move a little bit, like they kind of scary with the way they move. Why you think the grays, they kind of scary with the way they move, like they pop up, go away?
Oh, we had another super chat from Texas Man that I missed for $10. Mr. Fist loves the BBC. I certainly do. I love it so much. Makes me feel all dark on the inside. Yes, I got the previous entropy. Thank you, Sades. Thank you very much, Texas Man. Right, what else have we got? Yeah, this is from Drukpa Kunli. This is the kind of stuff you can hear on the radio in the UK. Very, very culturally enriching, bros.
Digital FM online. This is BBC Radio.
Glop. Lob. Weg when all DEM nuglocks, bleed bloop mans, glooming you don't know on that blimblum thing got that glib glob link up fam. Brep brep beyo ke tinglag. Way on NFM we playing the classics down your spruggle. This flop dog things for all my gluggle yours. Let's drop it.
Don't forget to listen to Gluck Glop Blub Blub. All the while go on be listening to it, man. Right, this is cool. Actually, Texas Man sent me this, I believe. Or maybe it was Saydays. Someone sent me this. Thank you very much, whoever sent this to me. This is so American it hurts.
Ready your bayonets, gentlemen. We ride for certain death, but we ride with honor, with glory, knowing that there is a tomorrow for this great nation. Yes, yes, gentlemen, have no fear, for we may die, but America shall live on. Yes, yes, good sir. Yes. Woo! We shall not falter, for our cause is great, and we stand for the most just cause that ever was, liberty for all men. Yes, God bless, good sir. If it is not the greatest father who's ever walked on God's green earth, God bless you, sir. Woo! Who will ride for America?
I gotta say, man, watching this, I'm like, man, if he takes a tumble with that sword, woof. What's this? I'm not sure. Oh no, wait. It's a malformed MP4. It must be this.
You will only hear the word of the thing you want the most.
Penis.
I heard bacon. What did you guys hear? This is really good too.
This is a day in the life of an American in Europe. I wake up in the morning with no AC to the smell of cigarettes drenched in sweat. At 9 a.m. I get pickpocketed. Then I go out for breakfast. The service around here is a load of crap. After 45 minutes, I finally get a standard European portion of food. At 10 a.m. I wash it down with some real food. Then I go to the beach. A couple of the women forgot to put on their tops today. At 1 o'clock I get pickpocketed. I go out at 3 p.m. and all the stores are closed and everyone's sleeping. Bunch of lazy bums. At 3:30 the heat gets to me and I need to take a quick power nap. Then I head to the Americanized part of town so I can feel comfortable. Then I eat more real food. Shortly thereafter, a beautiful woman ruthlessly pickpockets me. All that pickpocketing has made me really hungry. At 5 o'clock, it's time for a quick pickpocketing. Then I'm feeling a little homesick, so I stop and grab some American food. At 6 p.m., I set my backpack down for 0.2 seconds. It instantly gets stolen from me. At 7, I feel bad for myself, but then I remember something. I'm American. I'm rich. This is all just play money to me. And that's my day.
What else we got? Oh yeah, la migra. Ay, ay, ay.
Ahí viene la migra, la migra, la migra.
Ay, caramba. Right. We got some cute animals for you all. Enjoy.
Man, I sure hope I don't get employed today. I say unputting the fries in the bagely.
Hello, sir. I'm handing out free job applications. I was wondering...
Oh, fuck nah.
Hello, sir. I'm handing out magic unemployment potion and was wondering...
Hell yes. Holy scallop on Stewart, that was busting.
Ah, that was Acuteles, the evil employment potion of fry put in the baggery.
Hello, welcome to Rick's Noddles. How may I help you?
Barbecue bacon burger.
Man, I sure hope I don't.
Finally, my...
Evil-ass Larry, you didn't even let me finish what I was saying.
I mean, I'm just going to make sure the opposite of whatever you say happens, which typically leads to your downfall. So I was just trying to cut to the chase.
Okay then, well, I hope you don't explode into a million bitchless Larry pieces and don't die to fucking death.
Damn-ons my moms use obituary for that.
Smell you later, crocodile.
That's not even how that saying goes.
Okay. What the fuck was that? Right. Doggos.
What are you doing? Can you not get in the door? It's open. You come right here. Right here. Come on. You can do it. Really? Okay.
Aw. Yous did not like the cat video. Shame for a display. You will dishonor your family. Right, doggos in the snow. Aw. What else we got? Aw, bumblebee pups.
Come on, Bumbles. Oh. Can't walk very well with that on, can you? You're too big.
Aw. What else we got? Snow kitties. Aw. What else we got here? Oh, cute doggo.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is that Mr. Knight? Whoa. Hi. Hi, bud. Nice to see you too.
Aw. Oh, this is for Fox. Oh, Fox isn't here. Oh, well, Fox, if you're watching this later, this one's for you. Aww. And our final cute animal video of the night. More dogger scissors. Aww. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Let's say a quick goodbye to everyone in the chat. On Rumble, Captain Crisps, Ivan the Horrible, Sede Sapiente, Total Blackout Painting, Years the Eunuch. I'll be on Discord and Dragons in about an hour and a half. Come along. Rat Fun King, Cthulhu Loves You. Is that everybody? I thought there were some more people here. Edie Wolf, DJ Based. Good to see you guys. Texas Man, of course. Have a great time in Texas. DJ Based. I think that's everybody. On YouTube, we have LLL, Charlie Reedy, Simon JJ, Linda Hunter, Origin Party, Victorian Time Traveler. I think Evil Author 1776 was in here as well. Stumbling, Linda Hunter. Did I mention Victorian Time Traveler? Victorian Time Traveler. The Nameless One. I think that's everybody. Apologies if there's anyone I missed. And I know 007 was in here as well. And on Odyssey, we had Evola 81 and MK. And Harder N-Word. Thanks for coming along, guys. I will see you on Discord and Dragons in about an hour and a half. Otherwise, I'll be back on Thursday. Oh, and Livia Drusilla, of course. Didn't give her a shout out. Always glad to see you here, Livia. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a great week, everyone. Good night, chaps.